Well, as I said last week, the road trip that we had this weekend was one of the toughest ones that we knew, and I think besides maybe a few miscommunications in that first set, I thought it was one of the best matches that we've played all year. I give our kids a lot of credit for their focus and effort against our Illinois State on Friday night. I thought that our execution of the game plan was exactly where it needed to be, but I think bigger than that is our ability to adjust after Illinois State adjusted. It did not take us long to make adjustments to what they were doing, so very proud of that. Offensively, we have certain numbers that we try to reach in terms of statistics and percentages, and we didn't quite reach those offensively, but one of the things I liked about it is, or thought was okay about that, was the errors that we were making were very aggressive errors. They were errors that we made good decisions, but maybe just missed a line or just missed the top of somebody's hands. And one of the things I was worried about last week, as I talked about, was the ability for Illinois State, because of how good they are defensively, to force us into things that we couldn't do or didn't have, and I never felt that way at all against Illinois State. So that was a huge improvement in my mind on the offensive side. Defensively, when you look at our front court block, our back court defense, our off blocker tip coverage, it was probably as a whole the best match that we've played all season in terms of defense when you look at those three categories. Our block, normally that's not what I consider a strength in terms of stuff blocks. We were doing a very good job with stuff blocks, but we also position we're in good position to get good touches. We were in good position to allow our backcourt defense to get in the positions that they needed to get a lot of touches on balls. So very proud of just how the unit worked together on the defensive side. The other thing is we weren't just getting touches that were up, we were getting good touches that we actually had a lot of offensive options out of that. So very proud of just the full effort. I think one of the things, we were very balanced offensively, which is really good at this time of year. We had 4 kids that were in double digits for kills, so that is awesome to be that balanced right now going into the conference tournament. Piper had probably her best match of the season. She led us in both kills and blocks, which was huge. Amy and Bree on the pins continue to have a lot of workload for us. They had both had double doubles. Heather set a great match. Kendall led us in digs once again. And then when you look at the input and contributions that Lindsay and Kayla and Ashley had as well, you can just see, just by the stats alone, just what an overall team effort it was. So very proud of them. We beat a really good team at a tough place to play. Headed to Indiana State, and again a match that I knew would be a tough one for us. We struggled a lot there last year. It's a different facility. It's a team that played us tough at our place. It's a team that had seniors that were playing their last match of their career. They had their team as a whole. It was their last match of the season. So a lot of emotion, a lot of I think playing with nothing to lose attitude in that match. And we actually started out 9-0, and I turned to Kalani and said, I don't like that. Normally you think that'd be a good thing, but that 9-0 run for us, I would say maybe half of those points we earned. I think half of those points was maybe the emotion of Indiana State and trying to get out of that. And I knew Indiana State had a lot they weren't showing in those first 9 points, and they came firing back, actually got the lead at one point throughout that set. And I look at that set as one that we survived. It wasn't the best execution for us. I think Indiana State made some great defensive plays. There was some really long rallies that they were coming up on the winning side of. I also feel like they're a team that it's the last match of the season, and they had a completely different offense that they were running, nothing that we had scouted, and we had a lot of trouble adapting to that. They kept going in and out of a tempo 0 offense and then a higher offense, and our block had a lot of trouble adjusting to that, but very proud of our kids to be able to hang in there and win in 3 to round out the regular season. Obviously, we're extremely excited about hosting the conference tournament, and I will tell you, as a coach, and I think our players as well, the only reason we're excited about it, because it's a lot of extra work for our staff. Yes, maybe a small part we get to sleep in our own beds, which is good. But I think the biggest part is to be able to have our home crowd here. That's something that we're very proud of. We get an opportunity to showcase that again with ESPN3, and then other matches that will be on TV. So I just encourage everybody to come out. Obviously, it's tough on Thanksgiving. I get that, but it's the later match, so you can eat a great dinner with your family and what a great family activity to go to the McLeod Center and watch volleyball. I can't think of anything better than that. I might be a little biased, but we would love to have a great crowd there and the support, because you guys have done a great job all year, so it means a lot to us. We are the number 3 seed, so we will go up against Loyola, who we played less than a week ago, or just over a week ago. But when we played them, they did not have their top player, Reardon, who is a kid that is up for Player of the Year. She leads their team in digs. She leads their team in kills. She's one of their primary passers, so they were without her at that time. So we know they will be a very different team come Thursday. So a lot that we have to do to prepare for that. And then obviously the winner of that match will play Wichita State on Friday night. So our challenge this week is we want to win a conference tournament championship. So in order to do that, we're going to have to string together 3 really good matches. We haven't played 3 matches in a row in a very long time. So trying to find a way to fine tune what we're doing on our side, preparing for sure Loyola, and maybe, looking at some things as the coaches on tape that we can throw in there once in a while in practice against other possible opponents, and then being able to be fresh and ready to go for 3 what we know will be battles if we want to have a chance at winning that conference tournament. So I look at it as a challenging week for the coaches, especially on just how to manage that, but very much looking forward to that challenge. So we're excited. Our kids are really excited. We've done a few team building things over the last day and a half, and they're very ready and very excited to go. Any questions?
This is obviously the time of the year you want to be playing your best volleyball. Do you feel like the team is there right now?
Definitely when you look at the Illinois State match, again, turning around and having that match on Saturday was definitely not our best match, but our ability to hang in there, I think there could have been a lot of things that went down a different road that we fought off against Indiana State, but I think when you look at both the defense and offensive side and the improvements that we've made, they've been huge. And our ability, part of it is everybody is 0-0 now, so we can't look at who beat who and when. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody feels that they have a chance to win that conference tournament. So nothing in the past really matters except for the things that you've learned and grown from, but your ability to execute right now is all that really matters. So I feel good about where we're at. I feel good about the way our kids have adjusted to different things throughout the last 3 weeks. So I think we're ready to go.
How wide open do you see this tournament?
The conference tournament, I really feel like if you're one of those 6 teams and you don't think you have a shot to win it, I think you're crazy. I think just with the competitiveness that this conference season has had, and different people beating different people, and when you look at different matchups, I think there's definitely teams that match up better with other teams. So I really feel it's wide open. Obviously, we're biased. We want to win the thing, but I do think that when you look at it on paper and what's happened throughout the season, that any of the 6 teams have a legitimate shot.
How many teams do you think could get into the NCAA tournament even if they don't win this tournament?
It's interesting, and part of that every year is dependent on what everyone else is doing around the country. I really think that there is an opportunity for 3 teams, maybe even 4. When you look at RPIs, we have I think we have 3 right now that are in the top 50, which is huge. But again, part of it is not only what has gone on all season, but other teams having conference tournaments. And if you have a team that gets upset in that conference tournament that also has a legit shot at an at-large bid, that kind of throws it off a little bit. So Melissa Stokes from Missouri State does a lot of really good homework on this area, and but I think until the final week's over and you see what some of those other conference tournaments are doing, you really don't know. But I think our conference has done a great job of positioning themselves to be considered for 3 or 4 at-large bids.
You feel confident with where you're at if you can't win the tournament?
I do, and I think, to be honest, we're in a better position than we were last year in terms of just our own self, but looking across the country and what some of the other conferences have done, that's the part that I feel a little bit iffy about. The Big Ten is a mess, the Pac-12 is a mess, the Big 12 is a mess. So I think part of that is, what the committee values. I think we've done a good job of putting ourselves in a good position, as well as some of our other conference schools, but there's just so much more. There's a lot of new committee members this year, so in terms of what they place emphasis on, I think that's different every year. They have the same things, the same criteria, but I think when you're looking at picking those final schools, there's got to be emphasis in one area or the other. And so what those schools place their emphasis on, I think, will be important, the people on the committee. All right, we'll see y'all Thursday. All right, thanks.